Hello, my name is Luke. Welcome back to another video tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to be going through treasure chests. Now if you look in the link below you should find a link to Patreon that contains a tutorial on this subject too. It's in GIF format, so it's downloadable. There should be an attached GIF to the post itself so you can study the steps, and there's some more references on there and some more information. But for this video tutorial I'm just going to try and go through it as quick as possible, but give a few tips along the way. Now what we want a center line, both vertical and horizontal, so I use the symmetry tools in Sprite. You don't have to use those tools yourself, you can just make this box up. So we drag it out from the center like that, get the basic shape of our box, or chest, or treasure chest, whatever you want to call it. Now we can remove the horizontal symmetry, we want to keep the other one. Now this center horizontal line is for where the chest opens. This vertical line is just a guide for where I'm going to put the lock. I'll just throw that in right now and just get it out of the way. Now remember that these outlines are going to be part of your image itself. You're going to color these in too, so make sure you leave enough space and make sure you don't go too big. Okay, so moving on, we're going to start to shape, mold and sculpt our box. We're going to take this bare bones skeleton and give it some shape. So what we want to do is curl the tops for this treasure chest like so. So it's got a little curve on the side, on the top. Now next we want to go on with banding. Now banding are the braces that tend to keep the wood together and give it some more reinforcement, I guess. We'll just go down there. These will be like the metal banding or metal braces. I'm not sure on the word for it really. I'll just go with braces or banding. Then we'll do one along the bottom also, and that is pretty much it for the shape. Now here's a couple of tips for the braces. What you want to do is bring it out at the top like that. This will give it some more depth. Just give it that little bump at the top so it's good. You can see that the thickness is going over the top of the wood. You can also bring out the legs at the bottom, so you've got some little legs. It also adds to the thickness. Next we want to start colouring this. I'm using 5 shades of silver, 5 shades of brown for the wood. So we're going to go straight in there and get the wood on, and then we're going to go straight in with the silver and get that on for the metal. We're going to want to colour the lock in like, not like that, like that. We can now get rid of this center line because we no longer need that guide. We want to fill the keyhole in black, and I wouldn't normally go black, but let's just keep this basic. Next we want to remove the outlines for this, so we want to take our wooden colour and get rid of the top outline there. We want to keep the center line because that's going to be darker where it connects. There's going to be like a gap at the bottom. We want to try to keep the braces the same kind of thickness, so keep that in mind when removing the outlines. What we're going to do here is use the brown colour on the center, on the inside of the braces like so. Take this grey to the middle. Now we can start adding the darker colours where I said on the connections and where the trunk shuts, and that is that. Next we can start adding a few more details with the shade. So we want the planks of wood in here, so we're just going to take a slightly darker shade, throw some planks of wood in, make them roundabout as even. They don't have to be perfect, just even them out a little bit. Next we want to add the lighting on top of this. Now the light's going to come from above, so we're going to keep this basic. We're just going to plop that on there like so. Give it a little gradient off, I guess. Not too much, that'll be enough, and then continue that light down a little bit just to the top of the lock, and you can see already in the preview that it's looking a lot better. I think that's all the light for the wood. Next we want to take the light for the braces and follow the same kind of pattern. We want to leave it you can leave it. You can follow the pattern, or you can leave it 1 pixel up, so you see that drop. It gives a drop effect once you've got all the shading in as well. But just stick to the pattern if you want. Same thing. It follows it down, follows the light down. You can already see how it drops in onto the wood and then comes back up onto the metal. You want to put light on top of the lock. Keep this sharp because I'm going to keep a square lock, so it's sharp. Same with the bottom. Don't want to have a curved bracer. I just want it to be flat. Next, we're going to move along to the shadows. What we're going to do here is we're going to bring this shadow up more, so there's a little bit of depth, and we're going to take the darkest color and throw that down. Well, not too dark, I don't think. Yeah, we want that one, not quite the darkest color. Yeah, there we go. Just keep an eye on the preview, make sure it's all's good. You can add a little bit just there, just under where it's curving over, and leave the top one as it is. Next, we want to add a little shadow under the lock because the light won't be hitting there. We also want to start adding shadow on the bottom of the lock with the silver, or the grey, or the blue. It's got a little bit of a blue hue in it. We want shadow on the bottom there. You can put it on the bottom of the legs. It's totally optional. It's up to you. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. If you want a shadow under the chest, you don't need that there. I think that is everything. Normally I'd just go like that with the lock, so I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to keep it too dark. I'm going to stick to the palette. A few tips is you can mess with the colours a little bit on the planks, so it goes deeper in some areas than others, and it gives a more worn effect to the chest. Makes it look a lot more used and old and battered, and leave the gap where it opens the same. Don't interfere with that. Take the bottom one, you can add a darker shade to it so it looks like it's going a little bit deeper in places. I've left symmetry on here. It's same effect, it's still good. Another tip you can do is you can add a little crack, so just basically a little S shape goes down like so. We don't want it on both sides, so we can just just take the symmetry off and just wipe out that side. And there we go. You've got a decent looking chest. You can play with this how you want. You can move the lighting about, you can change the lock, but this is a good place to start. So look at the references I've got on the image tutorial in the link below. Have a play around. I hope this tutorial's helped some people out, and I hope I've got you making some treasure chests yourself. It can be a tough subject. There's also different angles in the GIF tutorial. There's references for the chest being open as well, and some animation on the process. As well as this video, you should have a solid understanding of how to start going ahead and making your own chests. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Have a great night.